Today, we need to talk about Carlos King and the strong opinions he shared about reality TV stars. Recently, he made some comments that got a lot of attention, and some people even called them hypocritical. He addressed reality stars who enter the industry, but then, when things get intense, choose to leave or complain about their portrayal. Carlos King's perspective is very clear. He believes that reality TV is not a job where you are drafted against your will. Nobody is forcing someone to participate. In his view, if someone chooses to be on reality TV, they should be ready to face all aspects of it. This includes arguments, fights, critiques, and public scrutiny. According to him, it is part of the territory, and those who are not prepared should reconsider before joining. He emphasized that some reality stars want fame and attention, but they only want it under certain conditions. They want to be involved in moments they enjoy, but avoid being part of messy situations or conflicts. Carlos King pointed out that these people may add their opinions or join a fight once it starts, but they do not want to be the ones to instigate or escalate anything. They want the benefits of being on the show without fully participating in all the drama. This, according to him, is not acceptable. He believes reality TV allows participants a unique opportunity to share their lives publicly, but it also requires courage to face criticism, scrutiny, and personal exposure. King also addressed those who claim they want to show a different side of themselves on reality TV. He mentioned that reality TV is not the place to completely reinvent yourself or show a business side in a way that differs from the show's expectations. For example, he referenced shows like Shark Tank as platforms more suited for showcasing business skills instead of reality TV. His point is that reality TV has a specific culture, and viewers expect certain behaviors, interactions, and levels of engagement. When participants do not conform to these expectations, it can frustrate the audience and other cast members. According to Carlos King, reality TV is a demanding field. He believes it allows people to succeed with minimal effort if they play the game correctly, but it can also expose them when they are unprepared for public feedback. Reality stars who leave because the audience criticizes them or because they feel uncomfortable often attempt to return later. He views this as a natural pattern, arguing that everyone misses the attention and recognition that comes from being on reality TV. He sees it as a cycle that many participants go through. However, there are several layers to this conversation that Carlos King does not fully acknowledge. While he claims that reality TV stars must be ready for criticism and public opinion, he does not always account for the extreme pressures that come with fame. Some fans go beyond opinions and become threatening or abusive. There are cases where certain fans actively try to harm or intimidate cast members. This crosses a line from criticism into real danger, and it is not something that reality stars can simply ignore. At times, Carlos King appears to dismiss this aspect, particularly when he is upset with someone who is no longer favored on his shows. Another factor to consider is the role of production in shaping narratives. Reality TV is highly edited, and producers have the power to portray participants in ways that may not reflect reality. Someone labeled as boring may simply have a life that is less dramatic, or they may choose not to share certain personal struggles. Conversely, a star can appear messy or villainous even if their real-life behavior is different. Carlos King's comments suggest that reality stars should fully accept their portrayal, but the editing process often amplifies conflicts and tensions beyond what actually occurs. This can create situations where stars feel misrepresented or unfairly targeted. There are many examples where Carlos King's relationships with certain reality stars seem to affect how they are portrayed. He has openly expressed favoritism towards some cast members, giving them more screen time or favorable edits. When conflicts arise or when a star falls out of favor, the narrative can shift dramatically. Viewers can often see this change, especially when a former favorite receives less favorable treatment. This has happened on shows such as Love and Marriage, Huntsville, and other series where Carlos King is involved. Inconsistency can make it difficult to fully blame the stars themselves for any perceived withdrawal from the show. The issue of fairness and authenticity is a recurring topic in reality TV. Many stars who participate in drama involving others are fully willing to engage in conflict or criticism. However, when the same level of scrutiny is applied to them personally, they may become defensive or attempt to deflect. This creates a sense of hypocrisy, where the audience sees participants picking and choosing when to engage in conflict. Fans often notice when stars act above the drama in public, but privately involve themselves in gossip or shade. This inconsistency is part of the reason some reality stars face backlash or choose to leave temporarily. A specific example of this can be seen in the treatment of cast members on Love and Marriage, Huntsville. There have been cases where Carlos King was ready to remove a star if they did not participate in certain conflicts. For instance, in earlier seasons, Tessa faced potential removal due to her reluctance to engage in drama. On the other hand, some stars have been protected or favored, receiving positive portrayals even when there are ongoing issues. This selective approach can be confusing to viewers and may contribute to the perception of unfairness. Another important point is that reality TV often brings up past events or disputes that happened years ago. Some seasons have highlighted conflicts from 5 to 10 years prior, which can feel unnecessary or manipulative. The framing of these moments may make certain participants appear dishonest or problematic, even when they are not actively contributing to conflict in the present. Carlos King's statements about audience expectations overlook how these editorial decisions impact the stars themselves. Reality TV is not simply about individual choice. It is also about the way producers shape stories for maximum engagement. Fans' reactions play a significant role in this dynamic. Carlos King has said that audience opinions should be respected, but he also criticizes stars who respond negatively to feedback. This creates tension, as fans can see inconsistencies in how stars interact with criticism. Some stars handle feedback professionally, while others react defensively, creating further drama. The balance between public perception, personal boundaries, and production narratives is delicate and often misunderstood by both fans and participants. The pressure on reality stars is compounded by their public exposure. When their personal lives are scrutinized, conflicts can escalate quickly. In some cases, reality stars may face threats, harassment, or emotional distress due to the attention they receive. While Carlos King emphasizes the responsibility of stars to accept criticism, he does not always acknowledge the intensity of the negative attention that can go beyond standard feedback. This is a critical aspect of why some participants choose to step away temporarily or permanently. Another recurring theme is the idea of authenticity. Fans appreciate stars who are genuine, even if they are portrayed as villains. The problem arises when a star wants to avoid scrutiny, but is willing to participate in drama that targets others. This selective engagement can create frustration among viewers who expect consistency. Reality stars who are strategic or cautious in their interactions are often criticized, even when their approach is reasonable or necessary for personal protection. Carlos King's argument highlights the expectations of reality TV, but it does not fully account for the psychological toll. The emotional and mental strain of constant scrutiny, public judgment, and production manipulation can be overwhelming. Some participants leave because they are genuinely overwhelmed, not because they lack commitment. Returning to the show after a break is often an attempt to reclaim opportunities, reconnect with fans, or manage unfinished storylines. This cycle is a natural part of the reality TV experience. The discussion about favorites and selective protection is also important. When certain stars are shielded while others face harsher treatment, it can create resentment both on set and among the audience. Viewers can detect favoritism, and stars who feel unfairly targeted may react by stepping back or quitting temporarily. This is not always a sign of weakness. Sometimes it is a protective measure against an unbalanced system. Carlos King's view that reality stars should be ready for any situation is valid in some respects. Reality TV is inherently challenging, and participants must be prepared for conflicts, criticism, and unexpected moments. However, the environment is not always fair or consistent. Editorial decisions, favoritism, and selective storytelling all influence how participants are perceived. Fans may judge stars based on what they see, but what is presented is often a curated version of reality. This can be difficult for participants to navigate, especially when personal relationships with producers affect the narrative. The role of production in reality TV is critical. Stars are not always fully aware of how they will be portrayed, and their image can be shaped to fit a story arc or character type. Someone who is quiet or avoids drama may be labeled as boring, even if they have a rich and complex life outside the show. Conversely, someone who engages in conflict may appear more dramatic than they truly are. Understanding this manipulation is important when evaluating Carlos King's comments. While he emphasizes personal responsibility, it is essential to recognize that stars do not have complete control over their public image. Hypocrisy in reality TV is a consistent theme. Stars may criticize others for engaging in conflict while participating in similar behavior themselves. Fans notice this imbalance, leading to criticism or backlash. Carlos King's commentary touches on this, but it does not fully address how production and relationships with the crew influence the dynamics. When a star is favored, they may be protected from negative portrayals. When a star falls out of favor, they may face harsher treatment. This inconsistency contributes to the overall challenges of participating in reality TV. Reality TV stars also navigate the challenge of public opinion versus private boundaries. While some stars are willing to share personal struggles, others maintain limits to protect their mental health. The audience may see this as selective engagement or avoidance, but it is often a necessary boundary. Carlos King emphasizes accountability and engagement. But the reality is that stars must balance transparency with personal safety and emotional well-being. This cycle of leaving and returning to reality TV is common. Many participants step away when the pressures become too intense, only to return later. This pattern is not necessarily a reflection of commitment or capability. It often reflects the unique challenges of navigating fame, public scrutiny, and editorial manipulation. Carlos King's comments highlight the expectations of participation, but do not fully acknowledge the complexity of these decisions. The influence of fans and public reactions cannot be underestimated. Reality TV stars receive immediate feedback, both positive and negative, that can affect their experience. While Carlos King stresses the importance of accepting criticism, he sometimes overlooks extreme cases where fan behavior becomes threatening or harmful. Stars must navigate these reactions carefully, balancing engagement with protection of their personal lives. In conclusion, Carlos King's commentary on reality TV stars provides a strong perspective on accountability, engagement, and the expectations of participants. He emphasizes that reality TV requires courage, consistency, and the willingness to face public scrutiny. However, his statements do not fully account for the complexities of production manipulation, favoritism, mental and emotional strain, and extreme fan behavior. The reality of reality TV is that it is not always fair or balanced, and stars must navigate challenges that go beyond simple participation. Participants are often judged based on edited versions of their actions, creating frustration and misunderstandings. Favorites are protected, and others face harsher treatment, leading to conflicts and decisions to leave the show. Stars must balance authenticity, boundaries, and public perception while dealing with intense scrutiny. The hypocrisy and selective engagement observed among some reality stars further complicate the situation. Fans expect transparency and drama, but the reality of production and personal boundaries often leads to misalignment between expectations and behavior. Ultimately, the discussion about reality TV stars, their participation, and Carlos King's opinions highlights the complicated nature of the industry. Reality TV is both a platform for visibility and a source of pressure, manipulation, and emotional strain. Stars must navigate these challenges while balancing public expectations, personal boundaries, and the unpredictable nature of production. The cycle of engagement, criticism, withdrawal, and return is a common pattern that reflects the difficulties of being in the public eye. Understanding these dynamics is crucial for anyone analyzing reality TV. While Carlos King offers advice about accountability and participation, it is essential to recognize the broader context. Production decisions, favoritism, editing, fan behavior, and personal boundaries all influence how stars experience the industry. Reality TV is not just about choosing to participate. It is about navigating a complex, often unpredictable environment that requires both resilience and strategy. The industry thrives on conflict, drama, and engagement. But it also presents challenges that go beyond what is visible on screen. Stars must deal with public judgment, extreme fan reactions, and curated portrayals of their lives. Navigating these pressures requires awareness, preparation, and sometimes difficult decisions about leaving or returning to a show. Carlos King's commentary highlights the importance of participation and consistency, but does not fully address the nuanced realities that stars face behind the scenes. In the end, reality TV remains a demanding and challenging profession. Stars must be prepared for public scrutiny, editorial influence, and interpersonal conflicts. The expectations set by producers, combined with fan reactions and personal boundaries, create a complex environment where decisions to engage, withdraw, or return are not always simple. Carlos King's opinions shed light on certain expectations, but the full picture involves multiple layers that affect both the participants and the audience. Understanding this dynamic allows viewers to appreciate the pressures reality TV stars face. It explains why some stars leave or return, why favoritism affects portrayals, and why public perception may differ from the reality of production. The industry is designed to entertain, but it also challenges participants in ways that go beyond surface-level appearances. Recognizing these factors provides context for evaluating the behavior of stars and the opinions shared by figures like Carlos King. Reality TV is a space where authenticity, performance, and perception collide. Stars must navigate these elements carefully, balancing personal integrity with production demands and audience expectations. The criticisms, conflicts, and cycles of engagement reflect the complexity of being in the public eye. While Carlos King emphasizes accountability and participation, the broader realities of production, favoritism, fan behavior, and emotional impact must also be considered. In summary, Carlos King's perspective on reality TV stars offers insight into the expectations and challenges of the industry. However, it is important to understand the context in which these stars operate, including production decisions, editing, favoritism, fan reactions, and personal boundaries. Reality TV is not simply a platform for fame. It is a demanding environment that requires resilience, authenticity, and strategic engagement. The cycle of drama, criticism, withdrawal, and return reflects the ongoing negotiation between public exposure and personal agency. Stars who navigate this landscape must balance transparency with protection, engagement with boundaries, and consistency with the unpredictable nature of production. The opinions and behavior of participants are influenced by multiple factors, and public perception often only captures a portion of the reality. Understanding these dynamics helps explain why some stars are praised, criticized, or temporarily leave a show. Reality TV remains a complex and demanding field where personal choice, public perception, and production decisions intersect. The conversation about reality TV stars, their participation, and Carlos King's commentary demonstrates the challenges of accountability, authenticity, and engagement in a highly scrutinized environment. While his advice emphasizes participation and courage, it does not fully account for the complexities and pressures that define the experience of being on a reality show. Reality TV stars operate in a space where public judgment, editorial influence, and personal boundaries collide, creating situations that are rarely simple or straightforward. Ultimately, the industry requires participants to navigate scrutiny, conflict, and manipulation while maintaining authenticity and personal boundaries. Carlos King's perspective offers one side of the conversation, focusing on responsibility and engagement. But the realities of production, favoritism, fan behavior, and emotional impact are equally important. Reality TV remains a demanding field, and understanding the broader context allows for a more nuanced view of why stars act, react, and sometimes leave the shows we watch. The complex nature of reality TV makes it a challenging but fascinating world. Stars must balance visibility with personal protection, conflict with diplomacy, and participation with boundaries. Viewers, producers, and fans all play a role in shaping how these dynamics unfold. Recognizing the interplay of these factors provides a more complete understanding of the challenges faced by reality TV stars and the industry itself. Navigating reality TV requires resilience, awareness, and strategic decision-making. Stars face public scrutiny, production influence, and complex interpersonal dynamics. While Carlos King emphasizes accountability and participation, understanding the broader pressures and context is essential. Reality TV is not just about fame. It is about managing perception, conflict, and personal well-being in an environment designed to entertain, provoke, and engage. This conversation about Carlos King and reality TV stars shows that while advice and expectations are important, they must be considered alongside the realities of production, editing, favoritism, and the emotional and mental impact on participants. Reality TV is a unique world where personal choices intersect with public perception and industry demands. Understanding this helps explain the behavior of stars, the cycles of engagement and withdrawal, and the ongoing negotiations that define participation in the industry.